Hey, and welcome to the Reset Podcast. Everything you need to know that your therapist probably never told you. Researched by experts, real life experiences. This is Reset. We're so excited that you guys are here. We have something fun to talk about today. Would you say it's fun?
Define fun.
That's true. Fun in a therapist's mind is probably a lot different than in mine.
Here's something that has been a theme, and maybe it is fun. I mean, it's a fun theme. I was thinking about this past month of just transitioning from school year to summer and all the fun stuff that comes with it.
Summertime.
Too soon from the slap. Too soon from the slap. Heard around the world, babe.
Oops.
But maybe not too soon, depending on when you listen to this. Here's a concept. Transactional versus transformational living. Transactional versus transformational marriage. Transactional versus transformational athlete. I feel like there's always one word that catches me every episode.
It's true.
Transactional versus transformational parenting. Transactional versus transformational podcasts.
Okay, I'm loving this. I'm hearing these words and I'm defining it in my own brain. Help us break it down a little bit. Transactional versus transformational.
Yeah, I think that some of us, not everyone, we walk through life just what I consider to be transactional. We feel like that we're just existing, we're not living. And we just cross off the boxes. I get up at this time, I have breakfast, I get dressed, take a shower, go to work, come back home, play with the kid, done, and go back to bed.
Mundane.
And you just go through the transactions. It's kind of like, an example could be is just, with like, okay, so let's say with athletes, which is I'm going to, I'm going to go work out, drink my protein shake. Then I'm going to, from there do some stretching, or I'm going to, study the playbook, play the game, afterwards look at film. They just go through the check marks of it. And so what happens from it is you just become very what based. And we talk about this a lot. Like, you're just focused on what I need to do, what I need to do for this day. And I'm just surviving. Like I say, you're just existing. There's no fun in your day.
You're surviving, not thriving.
Yes. And so this is why I bought my new hat, by the way. I wore it on vacation. Do you remember what it says?
Have more fun.
Yes, there it is. And so a transactional life or transactional living, or fill in the blank when it comes to any role, is the aspect of you're just going through your list and you're checking it. There's nothing more. It's not really fun. You're just doing it because you have to do it, not necessarily because you want to. But then there's the aspect of transformational living, which is the difference between just existing and living, where you put purpose behind things, where you recognize the why I do it is way more important than what I need to do. And transformational living is something that occurs when we realize my goal in life is to outserve other people. Is that if I could outserve others, then I'm going to feel transformational. I'm going to feel purposeful. And with transaction, there's not a lot of purpose behind it. I think this is where a lot of people we work with feel very just purposeless. I don't know why I do things. I don't know what's the purpose of life is and things like that. But transformational is the aspect. Let's take, for example, transformational marriage is how do I outserve my spouse every day? How do I purposely love them the way that they want to be loved versus the way that I want to love them? How do I get a PhD in my spouse? How do I really figure out what are the turn-ons, not the turn-offs? And so,
would you say you have a PhD in me yet?
Yes, I think I have an MD. How about that? Does that make sense? I'm not sure if it makes sense.
Because it's a longer schooling than a PhD?
I think so. Do I have a license in you as well? See, how far do we go with this one?
It just sounds weird now.
Yes.
I get your point, though. You study your spouse enough to know everything about them.
Yeah, or think about this. Here's another way to put it. I mean, this is a better way to put it because people may like this one better. Is some people fall in love with the map, but they never participate in the journey. And maybe the greatest example of this could be even the aspect of, like, let's say marriage. Is so many people They want to get married. They want to have a long-term partnership. They want a legacy aspect of it. They want the kids. They want all that kind of stuff. And you do it, but you don't do it in a way that provides such great health and happiness for the family or for your wife. The marriage is dead. It's just not a lot of stuff is really happening outside of just going to work, coming home every day, and you guys just having dinner and that kind of stuff. And so what happens is you fell in love with the map. You wanted it, but you never partake on the journey, meaning you don't do what it takes to create spontaneity, surprises, recreational intimacy, which we talk about so often.
And let me tell you, I'm such a visual person. As you're talking about the journey, I automatically see a map. And I just want to say, on the map, sometimes you're going to have to go through some valleys. You're going to have to climb some mountains. You're going to have to go jump in a ocean. I don't know. The whole point is the transformational part takes work, patience, sacrifice, love, and grace. And so with discipline comes pain, but also with regret comes pain. So how do you want to live your life? Do you want to live your life putting in the work and that discipline and, maybe the extra mile to bring joy and love and just fun? Or even, sometimes it's hard. Or do you want to live your life wishing you would have done this as a spouse or a parent or an athlete or whatever you're relating this to?
Well, and when we talked about burnout, the aspect of burnout occurs when you become transactional and you stop focusing on the why. Because all of us, we get into, you're right about this whole aspect of the map, right? The trenches, getting in the valley, like you said. That's hard. Valley is usually uphill at some point. To get to the peak, you got to climb. Over time, though, that pain could be difficult. It could be long. And so, but if you focus on what's the why behind this, because I believe that at the end, this have value and worth. I believe at the end, this will be a legacy opportunity for me or my family. I believe at the end, I trust even my spouse that they'll come out of this and we'll come out of it better and stronger. Because sometimes we forget that true intimacy occurs when we go through the tunnel of conflict. And you can't have the aspect of intimacy without conflict. You think about anything, movies and great books, right? You fall in love with the main character, because you go through conflict with them. They go through their conflict. And so you got to have some sense of a conflict that going through that tunnel, maybe, as you said, like on the map, is the aspect of going through the valley.
Yeah, the adversity.
Yeah, to gain a sense of intimacy, oneness with other, or the aspect of just knowing yourself more. Or, the old saying in that great movie, Vanilla Sky, you got to have the sour to make the sweet that much better. And so understanding the transformational, let's say, like lifestyle, as we're talking about, is recognizing, embracing that suck, embracing that pain, recognizing that is what's really going to awaken intimacy in my life with others, with me, with God, with that aspect of even knowing who I am and coming alive in that way is really what we need to recognize, versus we play life safe. And that's what transactional living is you do the things that keep you in that comfort zone. And so you never take that risk. I think about this past year for us, the amount of risks we have taken this past year, even with moving, the aspect of changing schools for our kids, the aspect of doing different sports than we used to do, the aspect of new friends, changing our lifestyle, our work lifestyle, working from home versus working in the office, things that we took a risk on to stop this transactional living that we've done the last 5 years and start living very transformational, taking more time off, taking more opportunities for memories and moments. And honestly, the relationship with us, obviously, is the byproduct of it, has gone stronger, even though, as we know, wasn't all, roses and what do they call it? I have no idea what that term is. What's it called again?
I don't know. I say roses and butterflies.
Yeah, I like roses and butterflies. I was thinking dogs and cats, but I'm allergic to cats. And so, but it wasn't necessarily easy for our kids either. Now that we've come on the other side, how much better we are and thankful we are that we went through that transformation and allow ourselves to say, hey, we want to live and do things differently.
Welcome to the part of the show where we talk about what we can learn from animals.
Yo, listen up.
Did you know animals teach us about life? Like how to be a good husband or wife? Or maybe how to be a good parent or friend? Needless to say, lessons that will help us out in the end. So open up your heart and open up your mind to hear about which animal today that we will find.
We haven't talked about animals in quite some time. I think they deserve the spotlight today.
Well, and we're going to talk about an animal I don't think we've talked about, which is rats. And so, psychology's done a lot of research with rats. No rats were injured in the making of the experiment. Yeah, we don't talk about that.
Pretty sure they were.
Yeah, we just lost our endorsement from PETA just now. But with that said is, so here's the experiment they did. They put 3 rats in 3 separate Skinner boxes. Skinner boxes are created from B.F. Skinner, who basically created operant conditioning, the aspect of reward and punishment when it comes to behavioralism and how that works. And so they put them in 3 different ones. So they have rat A, rat B, or rat C. So rat A, when they press the lever inside their box, it electrocutes them and puts a little electrocution to, let's just say a little electric shock to rat A and rat B. So rat A presses down, it gets shocked, rat B gets shocked. Rat C does not get shocked. Then we go to rat B. When rat B presses the lever, nothing happens. So it has no idea why it's getting shocked. And then rat C is what we consider the controlled rat. It never gets shocked, and it's just sitting in the box.
What happens when Control C hits the lever, though?
Nothing happens. It never gets shocked. It's just in a box.
Do they shock anybody else when they
Nope.
hit the lever?
It's just a controlled rat. It's just a controlled variable where here is the rat that they're going to make sure when they take the blood test. So what they do is they're going to take all 3 blood tests of the rats to see how high the cortisol levels are, the stress hormones, are in all 3 rats. And so the whole point of the controlled rat C, is to make sure it's not the box that's creating the stress for it, which it isn't. So I have all 3 rats, right? So you have rat A that presses the lever, shocks A and B. Rat B gets shocked only when rat A presses the lever. So the rat B could do whatever it wants and never get shocked knowingly. And then rat C is controlled. So which one do you think has the most stress, the most cortisol in their system?
B.
Yeah, why?
Because poor homeboy gets shocked when he doesn't do anything. And then he gets shocked when he does something.
Exactly. So, well, he only gets shocked when he does nothing. He doesn't know why he's getting shocked.
Oh, that's right. When he pushes the lever, he gets nothing.
Right. And so B, rat B, the rat that gets shocked not knowing why, with no control of the punishment, is the one that actually has the highest cortisol levels. Rat A has lesser, even though it's getting shocked the same amount of time, but it has less stress because it knows why it's doing it. It knows when it's coming.
Behind it.
Right. And it knows when it's coming, and they feel in control. Now, rat C, which doesn't get anything, is just the control rat, of course, doesn't have stress at all. So they know it wasn't the box or the situation or the environment that was creating it. It was more the shock. So what's the point of the experiment? The point of the experiment.
I feel like you're going somewhere with the idea of control.
Well, you think about this as humans. If we have a sense of control enduring hard times or pain, or it's something that we feel we have control over, we could endure it longer. And so we have the ability to endure the pain longer if we feel like we have some sense of control of it, or even if we caused it. Then we realize we can work our way out of it. When we feel that is being done to us, we call that a victim. The victim in this case is rat B, and the victim has a higher, an increased level of cortisol than someone who is participating in the pain but has control of it. And so what we realize is when it comes to victims, why it's so hard and difficult. So you think about things about abuse, if it's child abuse, or if it's spousal abuse, what it may be, for example, that they're not in control of it, and nor are they able to, participate or have opportunity to know when it's coming. And so because of that, think about the victim, how much stress and how much anxiety that they endure. It's way greater than someone who has a knowledge behind the pain in which they are enduring.
That's actually really sad to think about.
Well, and you think about parenting, certain temperaments and personality. You think about when it comes to, consequences. if the consequences maybe doesn't make sense, the consequences come out of nowhere, the kid feels like this punishment is too harsh, or the child feels that this is not warranted, how much stress that causes in the child. But then you also think in terms of which, let's say you come with parenting, and sometimes with teenagers, the best way to do is can sometimes that choose three. For example, is do you want to lose your phone? Do you want to lose your car? Or do you want to lose your door for the next 2 weeks? That them having that choice within the consequence can actually have maybe even a better reaction for them at the physiological level, but you also might have a better reaction within the relationship where they don't feel like it's more of a punishment, that it still sticks as a consequence. And so you think in terms like, okay, inviting the person into, let's say for parenting, the child into even the aspect of choosing if it's what they want their consequence to be, is a nice little tactic, especially when you have a kid that just feels they're always the victim in life.
Or maybe overly sensitive child as well.
Or overly sensitive child, or a kid that just feels, sometimes you get a kid that just always feels defeated.
Yeah.
And so learning to use that tactic can maybe diffuse them in certain ways that where the consequence can be endured but also accepted.
Yeah, and them knowing, the action I did still requires a consequence, and that control back in, like you said, to them.
That's right.
And now back to the show.
And there's also growth and development in the fun things too. But those things are going to take the discipline to get there. Like the vacation that you go on as a family or whatever it is that's the journey part, But just saying that, like that transformational part, you're not going to enjoy those things, like those big things that you save up for or want to do, if you're not putting in that work throughout the time in between. Because how you connect as a family and how you spend those times of, I'm working so hard, I just need a vacation. You get on vacation and you're not able to relax. So like, let's make sure that throughout our entire lives, we are being intentional. And the why behind something has really helped me in my mental health. I'm pretty sure I've been vulnerable on here saying, I struggle with anxiety and depression, and I do have ADHD. And so a lot of the transactional things you just have to do in life can become so hard for me. But remembering why I'm doing them, remembering, it's because I love my family. It's because we're going to get to enjoy this after I do that. Like the why behind things really help motivating. Even working out, I despise working out, but I know it's so good for me. It's so good for not only my mental health, but my physical health. Like when I'm getting older, I'm not getting younger. Journaling, I don't always love journaling, but I've seen over, months and months what it does for me, or weeks and weeks what it does for me, the why behind it. It's so important to get out those things in words and writing and not keep it in. Also, ask yourself why when you're doing something, when you feel that, oh, I don't want to do this. Like stop and say, why am I doing this? Okay. And it really does give you like a little pick me up.
Well, you make a great point. I think part of going from transactional to transformational is changing your attitude. I remember playing my fantastic year of tennis in college when my coach said, the difference between a win or a loss in tennis is your attitude. That's always stuck with me, meaning you have it in you. You have the opportunity to be great or win, which, by the way, I won 0 times in tennis in college.
Congratulations.
I just won that scholarship and imposter syndrome. But anyways, with that said, is the attitude needs to change. And that's something you have control over. Your attitude towards, if it's working out, attitude towards, children, marriage, or the aspect of the attitude just towards your everyday living. Because remember, your brain works in a confirmation bias, meaning your attitude will create a confirmation bias in your mind, meaning that if I take this approach towards, let's say, seeing my spouse as being amazing, great, loving, see my kids as being healthy, good, loving kids, my brain will search and look for 2 things: past memories and moments that confirm that, but also in the moment seeing what I believe in them, right? I will see that versus maybe seeing so much of the disrespect or if it's the unhealthy interactions. And so recognize, play with that confirmation bias when you can. Start perceiving things the way you want to perceive. So it's going back to the aspect of, I always think my hat. Every time I wear the hat, have fun or have more fun. I feel like I take on the father of let's have fun. Let's have more fun. Instead of playing one round of golf, let's play two. Instead of doing one round of bowling that we did the other day, now we're going for a second one. We're going all in. Let's have more fun. And I think that's the attitude. The change of the attitude will give direction for you, but I also think it'll just set that mind or create that mindset of really creating confirmation bias of what I really want to believe in my family, what I really want to believe in my kids, what I really want to believe in this moment. I want to believe in this moment. We can have a lot of fun. Let's make it happen. Let's make it work.
I love that, because let's face it, time's going to pass regardless. Do you want to be feeling encouraged and uplifting and positive when that time passes, or do you want to just be melancholy, downhearted, and negative as time passes? Whether you're grieving something or waiting for an answer in something, you can wait in hope or you can wait in fear. That time's going to go by. And the answer is going to be the answer. So our time's going to go by with life. Memories are going to be happening. How do we want to experience them?
Well, and that's a great thing of thinking in terms of defining your map. Like we all fall in love with this map of how we want our life to be. We visualize, we call it your possible self in social psychology. So your possible self is the map. Start partaking on the journey. Start giving yourself permission to partake on that journey. Start doing the breadcrumbs, the daily routines. Start approaching different situations or environments with a different attitude, things you have control over, your words, your attitude, your behaviors, your thoughts, what time you wake up, what time you go to bed, working out, not working out, drinking that gallon a day of water. I'm trying to think of all the stuff that have been told to me I need to do. And when you start doing it, like we have been this past year, you start feeling what transformation looks like on a daily basis. And you feel like I'm finally living.
It does take work. But just like Joe said, as a testament to this last year, especially for me, 6 months of putting in that discipline and work, you see the fruit. And it's such a better lifestyle than just being bleh.
And this is what we do. We help people go from transactional to transformational, whether that's in their marriage or if that's when it comes to just them as businessmen and women, or if it's them as entrepreneurs, or if them just in life in general. This is what we do. And if you're interested in this, feel free to check out our website, theresetgroup.com. You can contact us through there and you can see different things that we do there and opportunities to have to work with us. And you think to yourself, man, I don't know where to start. Well, check out our website. There's different free resources that you can also check out there that can help you out, including how to create a mindset. What are the 5 steps? What are the 5 things I could do to create a transformational mindset? It's all on there.
We got you. We got your back.
Thanks so much for listening to the Reset Podcast. We're so glad that you're here with us. If you enjoyed this episode, we'd love it if you left us a rating, a review, or hit that subscribe button. And share it with a friend that needs to hear this. We're here to help you live a better life. Overcome mental barriers that are holding you back from your full potential. Find free resources, our blog, and information for one-on-one coaching at theresetgroup.com. We'd love to connect with you on social media, so be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok at The Reset Group. See you later.